Dear Lord, hey, it's Mary. I've been wanting to talk for a while now. Hoping you brought me a smile now. Dear Lord, yeah, I'm doing fine, but barely. I've been wanting to check in to make sure that you didn't forget about the Savior. Who is this Messiah that everybody's talking about? 'Cause I need saving right now, right now, right now, right now.
Oh, that was a soundbite from the very talented Anna, and her story is really cool. And I want people to make sure and go to the musical's website because I know her whole story is posted there. It's fascinating to hear how this all came to be. But what an honor and my complete joy to be talking with you guys now, the producers, one of several producers, I guess. But Corey and Willie, tell me, how did you guys find out about this and go, wait a minute, we want to be on board. We want to help get the word out about this?
Well, I got a text message from the director who had been hired to work on this project. And it had been a while since I talked to him. And he just sent me a text with one of the songs and said, "Hey, Willie, check this out. Let me know what you think." And so we weren't approached like to be any sort of celebrity endorsers or anything like that. He just asked me to check it out. And when I saw it, I was really moved by it. And I asked Corey, I said, I think this is really great. I'd love to be a part of it. And I was hoping she agreed, and she did.
Yeah, it was really just one song, and Willie was just all in, and he brought it to me, and I watched it, and I was like, whoa, there's something really special about this. And then we got to see the whole thing. They had recorded a workshop in New York, so they kind of had the whole thing complete that you could see, and we were like, whoa, this is just full of scripture. It's so, you could tell it was just felt really spirit led, and we were like, who is the writer? And then, like as you mentioned, her story is absolutely incredible. So we met her over Zoom, and we're just like, this girl is the real deal. And it is just clear that she just felt the call to do something for God, and she just said yes and did it, and here we are.
I just get so excited, and this is part of my joy and passion right now is meeting people and promoting things where in the year 2023 there's so many cool and unique ways to tell the story of Jesus that maybe haven't been done before, but also good quality is important as well. Speak on kind of that, because you guys come from the entertainment industry, of course your popular reality show, but to be able to use these gifts and to see these type of productions, and there's a lot of fun stuff going on again that has a gospel message behind it.
Yeah, that's been so neat for us to see, because when we did our show, we had this little prayer at the end, and it wasn't like anything overtly like, oh, this is a Christian show. This was just, we're Christians and we have a show. And we had this prayer at the end, and it really made an impact. And then we got to be a part of God's Not Dead. And just since then, and saw the kind of success of that. And I just feel like there was just a hunger. People want more about that represents faith, that gives them hope, that is positive and uplifting when in this world that is hard. And so since then, we've just seen things like The Chosen, and Jesus Revolution just happened. That was just incredible. And it's really, really encouraging to see that there is an audience for it. Despite what some people might think, there is an audience for Christian faith-based films, things that are just overtly about Jesus. And we're excited to be a part of this one.
Yeah, and during COVID, I obviously, like most people, I was home, and so I wasn't traveling, I wasn't speaking, and so really got involved in a ministry at our church, which was trying to teach people how to share their faith. And so I was there like every week and really poured into that. So I talked to someone else, and they were like, "You should write a book on that." So I was writing this book about how to share your faith, just in a common way, and I was in the middle of writing the book is when I got the text about the musical. And it was like, and my first thought was, I don't have time to work on anything else. I've got to get this book. But it was like God was telling me there's other ways as well, especially to this generation, of getting the gospel message out. And that's when I just said, well, yeah, I mean, I got to be open to that. And especially with Anna writing it, someone who's young, we've experienced that with Sadie and our other kids, when they want to do something, they've got a powerful voice. In fact, more powerful than ours, because they're speaking to their own generation. And so I think our ears need to be open to that, and help foster that for the younger ones who are trying to reach their generation. And so at that point, we were like, yeah, we can be a part of this, and they're not mutually exclusive. There's a lot of ways to get the gospel out there. The gospel doesn't change, but the different avenues of how we get it out there can be different. And so, you may not put us with a Broadway-style musical, or at least myself, but anything that can get the gospel out, that's in a new, fresh way, with the music and how she wrote it, we were on board. And then it was almost just like God took it from there and just said, let's go. And we were talking about this last year at this time, and now just in this short amount of time, we've put up this giant tent area for people to come watch this, and we have actors, and we have advertising and marketing, and it just happened so quickly. And it was not driven by any church, any one pastor, one church, anyone. In fact, we were on the stage announcing it. There was not a pastor on the stage, and I just kind of thought, wow, that's something that only God can do, is to pull this thing together from people from Broadway, from people from New York, people that honestly, some of the people in the production don't even know what they're doing. They don't even have a clue about Jesus, which is, again, to us, another opportunity to share our faith.
Well, and it's so interesting. You hear about kind of the decline of families going to church. And I think now more than ever, I love that you brought up your daughter, Sadie, as well, because, youth and reaching the youth community is just, it's crucial. It really is. And if we can find these avenues to do this like this, my first thought was, oh man, it's in Texas. Like, how am I going to get, but this does seem like it's going to be a destination. I was talking with the folks over at the Ark Encounter the other day, and we can have these destinations across the country. Hopefully one day, I'm assuming it might start touring as well.
Yes, that is the plan, is that it would go into all the world, of course. But right now, that is the call. Like, come to Dallas, where it is. I cannot explain to you how great this location is. We decided to go into Dallas. We were like, that's such a central location. Everyone can fly in, drive in, but also, we just were like, where are we going to put it? What are we going to do? Then they had this idea about the tent, and we were just like, yes. How fresh and new and exciting is that to be in this giant, amazing tent? And when you're inside, you don't feel like you're in a tent. Trust me. It's like, it's a nice tent. But anyway, we chose this spot. It's called Grandscape, and it's almost like a downtown Disney area. It's like, there's so much to do there. There's putt-putt and all this, and all these nice restaurants and shopping and all that. And there's a big Ferris wheel. So it is one of those things that you can make a family trip out of it, or load up a youth group or a group and come to this place in Texas.
Well, and I think that, the whole nature of even the New Testament was a lot about going and traveling and taking the message to other places. And we've seen that even this year with, this past year with Asbury and the college campuses, where people just go. They just go and they show up. I think if this were in Broadway, if it was like, hey, whether it's, Wicked or Cats or Hamilton, everybody knows you got to go, we're going to New York to go to a musical. And Kori and I've done that as well. So it's not so far-fetched. And I think it's easy to rail against culture and society and the bad things that are coming out and the bad things that are being put out. So when we have something positive, I think as believers, we have to rally around those things and support and say, yes, we will come help this, because this is what we want more of. And the more things that are successful, the more those things will be created. Just from a business standpoint, that's what's going to happen. And you're right, the quality has come up. And when people come and see this, they'll know, like, oh, this is not your high school, musical or something that, your local church puts on. These are, professionals, people that do this. The tent gave us way more latitude to do different things. So the ceiling also is a projection screen, and so we can set mood with light, and it's almost like a planetarium, like a Cirque du Soleil. The stage is in the round, and there's an elevator that goes up and down, and so it's the technology we've been able to put with the story is just incredible. And I think when people come and see it, they go, oh, okay, now I see. This is an event. This is something worth coming to.
I think so as well. I'm excited to see where this goes, and we're going to be praying that more people come to Christ, know Christ a little bit better, maybe look at him with a different perspective before. Before I let you go, though, I feel like you guys are just revving up. It's going to be a busy year for you guys, and I told you before we got started, it's just so exciting to see how your family has just been blessed, and you keep growing. And now you have this movie getting ready to come out in the fall, I believe.
Yes.
Based on Willie's dad. And I'm just so excited for people to, how are you guys feeling? As again, I know it's probably kind of post-production stage and getting ready to debut this fall, but speak on that if you can a little bit.
Well, we've been really, I feel like we've been kind of emotional about the whole thing because it's such an awesome year for our family we feel like we get to introduce his story first. And then in September, we're going to get to introduce our story, which ends with his story. Like that's the point of our story. And so it's really kind of this, I don't know, a really special year for us. But yeah, we've been working so hard on the movie, and we just are really, really proud of it. It's been hard for the family because it's a tough part of their life story.
Yeah.
But for
that's
God,
what I love about it, because you guys have never been, afraid to kind of go there and have that be part of your story.
Well, were it not for that story, then none of us would be here anyway.
Yeah.
We wouldn't, that is the story that my parents heard in their 20s that radically changed their lives. And similar to Jesus Revolution, I mean, when that happened, it changed everything for our family. And so that's why we've always been, so inspired to tell others about the gospel, because that there's millions of other Willie Kori Robertsons out there,
Yeah.
Nobodies who don't have any money, don't have anything going for them, that are, locked in sin and a terrible life and looking like they're going to divorce. But, through Jesus's story, there's redemption, there's hope, there's something that can come out of that. And so our family is literally a tribute to that, to reflect that story. And it's brought us all the opportunities that we have, and the family staying together, and then all through all the projects that we've done, and able to now reflect the gospel, not just in America but all over the world. And so all those things have been amazing. It all comes down to, and this is the story of like whether they were going to do it or not. It was like, and you realize when you watch the movie, like, wow, that was really close to just being obliterated, and nothing good would have come out of that. But thank the Lord.
But that's what God does, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, look what he can do and make a beautiful masterpiece out of what some, would be considered just finished. Guys, it's been such an honor to get some time with you. I can't wait to catch up again later this year. I know you have so much on your plate, but I'm so excited to get the word out about his story, the musical, which I do think is going to be a great destination for people to go and see. And again, I just look forward to catching up with you guys again, hopefully in a couple of months.
All right. Thanks so much.
All right. God bless.
In the beginning was the word, it was a word from him. Rewind the world spinning, he said, let the world spin. But first there was darkness, abyss for the night. The first thing that he said was, let there be light.